At a family restaurant, 𝕽𝖊𝖎 greets her friend by pushing him from behind with her bag, annoying the boy who wonders why she can't just greet him normally. However, this is how she conveys the impression of their reunion. It is a special surprise from her. Yet this seems wrong. What does she mean by reunion? The two of them were together on the same shift yesterday. But, for some reason, this is not the response she was looking for. Mentioning that she had been eagerly waiting for this moment to see her senpai, even though she worked all day for it. 𝕽𝖊𝖎 moves her hand to her chest and questions whether spending time with her means nothing to him. Pretending to be really affected by that, she hides her eyes between her small hands, only to take quick peeks and try to get a reaction from the boy, who realizes she is just faking it. Moving on, this cheeky girl mentions that any normal high school student wouldn't reject a request from a beautiful girl like herself. Could it be that her senpai is someone who releases his desires every night, so when his stepsister visits him in his room unexpectedly, when no one is at home, and tries to seduce him? Okay, the senpai I'm talking about is not me, and definitely the stepsister I mentioned is not my uncle who tries to barge into my room whenever he gets the chance. Moving back to the story, Godo steps away, saying it's time to start the shift. That beautiful girl who spoke with him has been bothering him for a while. She is a part-time worker named 𝕽𝖊𝖎, and for some reason, she finds it strange that the boy doesn't have any feelings for her. That's why she approaches him with her skinny body and flat personality at every opportunity. For today, Godo is going to be in the kitchen, while Kawasaki will take care of the dining area by herself, since the newcomer Takase is out sick. She will handle everything until 6 p.m., when the college students arrive. Inside the restaurant, while serving tables, 𝕽𝖎𝖎 socializes with some of the clients. While taking food to another table, a customer moves his leg in the way, making the girl trip and drop the plate of food. Despite apologizing for what she did, the boy, with an annoyed expression on his face, making me believe there are dozens of carrots deep inside his, angrily comments, wondering what is wrong with the girl. Standing up and making a fuss, he questions if she thinks an apology is enough after messing up. 𝕽𝖎𝖎 freezes, not knowing what to do. Right then, as the angry customer makes a sudden move, a sharp glass flies toward the girl. At that instant, with a sound made by two sweaty cheeks from all the heat in the kitchen, Godo approaches like a hero, grabs the sharp object, injures his hand, and tells the angry customer he should be careful since shards can fly around and it's dangerous. Therefore, he should move to another table. Observing this, 𝕽𝖎𝖎 is surprised, since the boy was supposed to be in the kitchen. However, the reaction from some of the girls after seeing Godo save 𝕽𝖎𝖎 makes the customer even more irritated, and he scratches the boy's face to show his frustration. Yet, Godo keeps a professional appearance, not displaying any hatred toward those who caused the fuss. After those guys leave, the other customers in the restaurant congratulate Godo, calling him a hero. Now, while 𝕽𝖎𝖎 wants to bandage him and asks if it hurts, the boy simply wipes the liquid from his face, saying he is insensitive to pain, though it's obvious he's just pretending to be tough. Apologizing for scaring her, and suggesting he made it just in time, he flashes a grin. 𝕽𝖎𝖎 blushes and tells him he's such a cheater. Then, the girl tells Godo she could seriously go out with him if he wants. Yet, Godo simply brushes it off by thanking her. Later, before entering his home, the boy is in a hurry to get to the bathroom and prepare for tomorrow's opening ceremony. Once inside the house, he notices some shoes he doesn't recognize. They could belong to one of his mother's friends. Without wasting time, Godo heads straight to the bathroom. Behind a closed door, mountains of flowers and a breeze carrying the scent of purity welcome him. The next moment, the person on the other side starts freaking out, wondering why he's staring so much. And let's be honest, who wouldn't risk it all just to gaze at those perfectly round and beautiful collarbones? However, this person doesn't seem to live here, making Godo wonder what she's doing in his house. Apparently, her bath is broken, and when she was about to go to a bathhouse, Godo's mom told her to bathe here. It's understandable, since his mom likes taking care of others. Still, this is weird, since any normal guy would at least get nervous or have a nosebleed after such an incident. Apparently, this fresh-out-of-the-shower girl is Godo's childhood friend, Kirishima Hina, who lives next door. Crouching down and hiding her face between her palms, the girl says she can't get married anymore. But Godo tells her it's going to be fine since she's so cute. So she wonders how he can be so calm after seeing her secret garden. The answer is Godo is living his second life. Since he was young, the boy had memories of a past life. He saw those memories faintly in dreams, and when he spoke seriously about them, his parents began to suspect he might have an illness. However, since they were nothing more than dreams, Godo spent his childhood like any other kid. By the time he reached middle school, he dismissed them as mere delusions. But then, something happened suddenly. In the summer of his first year in high school, his memories of his past life fully awakened. The same way my uncle wakes up after a nap, confused, slightly sweaty, and with drool coming out his mouth. Apparently, in his past life, Godo's name was 𝕽𝖊𝖎𝖓𝖙, a hero who lived in a world of swords and magic. He risked his life fighting a witch who threatened humanity. In terms of story, he was the protagonist, but in the end, he died in a ridiculous way and reincarnated in Japan. Thankfully, the world he lives in now has no conflicts and he can enjoy his life, but because the memories of a blood-soaked world returned, Godo lost his common human sensitivity. That is why even girls who would generally be attractive don't stir any special feelings in him. While having these thoughts, the boy does not realize he is still inside the room with a half-dressed person, who right now wonders how long he is going to stay there. As he is leaving, Hina mentions there's going to be a transfer student joining their class tomorrow. In their school, classes don't change for 3 years, therefore it would be fun to have someone new around. As long as they're not someone strange, it should be fine. The following day has come, and the new student seems to be a girl who got every boy's attention, except Godo's. A black-haired girl with pigtails who possesses the name 𝕽𝖏𝖈. A moment later, after introducing herself, everybody starts creating a fuss in the classroom. And by everybody, I mean every boy with a pair of round energizers that make you lose control when seeing a cute person. They all start questioning Mai, giving the girl a hard time. Meanwhile, the boy next to Godo mentions she's a classic beautiful girl with black hair. Yet Godo agrees with him without even glancing at her and is about to fall asleep. He mentions he had worked until late last night. Hearing that, his friend not only says he is lame, but suggests inviting the transfer student to work at the same place with him. But that is impossible since having a job violates the school rules. He cannot invite her to something improper. This makes his friend sigh while letting his head fall back on his chair. This could have been a great opportunity to get close to Mai. During the class, Godo took a peek at the new transfer girl, and seeing she got seated on the opposite side of him, it became certain they will not have any relationship. However, she looked back at him, their eyes meeting for a second, but he quickly dismissed it, believing it must have been his imagination. After the first class ended, Hina approached the two boys, wondering if they're not going to talk with the transfer student, and it seems like neither of them is going to make a move. Godo is not interested at all, and his friend Shinji knows a guy who acts desperate is not popular. Therefore, he's going to stay and watch. While Hina mentions she already talked with her a little, she seemed like a serious and calm girl. Godo observed Mai looking once again at him. Right then, Hina, noticing he is not paying any attention, questions him, but Godo, simply saying he was not listening, stands up and lets her know he is going to the bathroom. Passing by Mai while leaving the classroom, something strange happened as his body reacted to her presence, making him feel something he had experienced before. But right before leaving the room, Hina interrupts his thoughts, shouting he must hurry since the class will start soon. However, Mai, who is sitting at her desk, realizes there is no doubt about it. Godo is someone she knows. Moments later, after leaving the bathroom, the boy is lost in thought. The whole class was filled with rumors about the transfer student. Objectively speaking, with an appearance like hers, it's understandable. But it's rare for someone to transfer in the middle of high school. Could there be some special reason behind it? The answer to that question comes right at him when, from behind, Mai asks Godo if they could talk for a moment. With her arms crossed and a smirk on her face, the woman believes she managed to surprise Godo quite a bit. And that is true. The boy did not even notice her, despite having been a hero in his past life. having no desire to hide anything. Might suggest the boy has become a bit clumsy. This makes Godo wonder why she's speaking in the past tense. And more than that, who is she? With a straight face, the girl tells him her real name in this world is 𝕽𝖊𝖎𝖈. She then says it has been a long time and mentions the name Hero Gray. She even suggests he reincarnated into quite a handsome face. Therefore, by now the boy must have realized who the person speaking to him is. With a smile showing up on her little face, Mai mentions she is 𝕊𝖎𝖎, the Witch of Calamity. And God, please, if you hear my prayers, send me a Witch of Calamity to bring some chaos into my lonely life. Trying to deny it, Godo mentions that name sounds like something out of a high school story. No more needs to be said, because Mai didn't come here to go in circles. She played her cards face up, and in the next second, with the desire to make him believe her, she summons a magic staff. Therefore, the boy cannot deny it. Facing him directly, she wonders if Godo is happy to meet his former enemy. In their previous lives, the hero and the witch were mortal enemies. Will that be the case in this life as well? Would he need to use his big and hard sword against the witch? In the previous life, the hero was the hope of the world, while she was the enemy of everyone. Moving further, Mai mentioned she is happy to see him. More than that, she has something she wants to tell him, but this is not the right place. They should move somewhere else. Realizing he cannot decline, Godo goes with the flow and mentions there is a resting area near the club building where they should be fine, since there are few people during classes. Outside, before starting the conversation, Godo decides to buy something to drink. That would be helpful to clear their minds. Twisting his head and looking toward her, the girl mentions her throat is dry since no liquid entered that cave. However, when she starts checking her pockets, the woman is startled. She has no money on her. That makes the boy realize. Apparently, she forgot her money in the class. And with that, Godo mentions she hasn't changed when it comes to avoiding owing favors to others. Therefore, as a commemoration of their reunion across worlds, the boy is going to treat her this time. And there's nothing she can say against it, only showing off her red cheeks. Apparently, this boy is not one of those dense types that make women fall in love just by simply existing. He remembers the witch liked apple juice. Therefore, the drink he hands her is, guess what? It's apple juice. Looking at her, the boy realizes she is still weak against kindness and knows that if the class saw that face of hers, they would definitely be fascinated. This entire interaction between the two of them makes me wonder, were they truly enemies in the previous world, or was that just a facade while they enjoyed each other's secret bases hidden under layers of fabric when nobody was around? Now, ready to talk, Godo goes straight to the point. He wonders why the witch who was his enemy in the past life came to find him. Is she here because of the resentment from their past life? Yet it is not that. First of all, she is the one who reincarnated him into this world. But these words she just said do not surprise Godo. That is because, as her former enemy, he is the one who knows the most about the skill she possessed. With a smile on his face and a laughing voice, once again, Godo tells her to say the reason without dragging it out. In the next second, she puts the drink down, loses some composure, and slowly tries to get some words out. However, she is not able to say it. She cannot do it. That is, until the boy tells her to stop acting like an antisocial person. That's when she explodes, and not literally. She shouts, "Of course it's true I've got no friends, and I'm antisocial, and what?" Tears start moving down her face. That makes Godo realize he managed to hit a sensitive spot. He must do something to break the tense atmosphere. Right then, he tries to make a joke, suggesting Mai came all the way looking for him because she's in love with Godo. The expression she shows at that moment does not suggest she got the joke. A moment later, after Godo realizes she seems flustered about it, the witch regains her composure and denies it, saying a witch and a hero are mortal enemies. At that moment, something strikes her chest, making the girl lose control of her body for a moment. But thankfully, Godo moves quickly and grabs her, wondering what is going on. She mentions there is no time left. She can't keep doubting. Godo, asking if she wants to go to the infirmary, makes Mai wonder if he is planning to do something inappropriate, but that is certainly not the case. Right then, a magic circle appears under the witch. with a dark aura covering her presence. Mai starts enchanting a spell, confusing Godo, who has no idea what is going on. In the blink of an eye, she does it. The witch manages to destroy the boy's defenses and grabs his yummy-looking lips in her devilish mouth, or something like that. She creates a collision between their starving lips. Quickly after that, making the situation even more confusing, the girl mentions Godo is her destiny. Yet the hero suggests that does not count. What did she do all of a sudden? What is her real purpose? Despite asking, no response can be heard. Mai is drenched in sweat, and each tiny drop embarks on a slow journey down her neck. Her antisocial mode has been activated once again. Understanding it's going to be difficult to get all his answers, Godo starts slowly, mentioning she can take her time, but he wants to know why she came looking for him. At first, she seems like a frightened little animal. But a moment later, she clears her mind and says it clearly. Grabbing the hero by his shirt, looking straight into his eyes while exposing her red cheeks, Mai tells him, "I can't live without you." Even more, she makes me hate not having a bipolar girl like herself. One that, in one moment, is shy, and in the next moment invites you to her home so you can continue the conversation. Scene transition. Walking together towards Mai's place, Godo suggests. The beautiful transfer student is leaving early on her first day. More than that, Hina is going to chew me out tomorrow. Staring at him, Mai believes the hero is worried about the girl sitting next to him in class. Compared to his previous life, he managed to become quite the playboy in this one. Right then, the two arrive in front of a luxurious apartment complex, making the boy believe she is a rich girl. Yet she does not confirm it simply by saying yes. She instead tells him her parents are not home. They prepared everything for this transfer. She is living alone right now. However, just when I got my hopes up, she mentions we shouldn't get the wrong idea, even though her parents aren't around. As they enter the apartment, the witch uses Godo's name from the previous world, mentioning they can continue their conversation. Therefore, Godo starts by mentioning he panicked when her lips bumped into his. Remembering that, Mai blushes while saying the reason for that was because she was at her limit. After that, the girl shows her socially awkward side once again, and mentions she does not have much time. As the hero should know, her soul is cursed. Apparently, she, the Witch of Calamity, once cursed the world. That curse summoned monsters, and all the crops withered and died. As a price for that, she was bound by a curse of equal destruction. Therefore, even in reincarnation, her curse did not break. And more than that, if Mai would die, this world they live in would be destroyed. Hearing that, Godo is taken aback a little, yet Mai mentions she does not mind that. But kind-hearted Godo would be in trouble. That is why she needs him. With that being said, she wants to rely on his exorcism magic. Apparently, when the two of them invaded each other's buccal cavities, the girl's body felt a little better. Her exorcism magic failed, but just touching him helped lift a bit of the curse. Turns out, only a handful of people can use exorcism magic in this world, and that is precisely why Godo was chosen as a hero, because of this talent. Funny, ain't it? This guy receives the title of a hero because of a boring skill like exorcism, while I receive the title of a weirdo because I can lick my elbow with my eyes closed. Now it is time for the two to decide if they would join forces, which is quite perplexing. A reincarnated witch and a hero joining forces. Maybe this is indeed fate. The same way I was fated to meet my uncle after being hospitalized and live my childhood inside a basement. Without wasting any time, Mai stands up and says they should start right away. To make the exorcism magic more efficient, the closer their bodies are to each other, the better. Therefore, she's going to get changed into something more relaxing. But maybe Godo prefers to check on her teeth condition using his mouth organ that allows him to speak and taste? No, it is not the case. Staying closer to each other seems like an easier task. Moments later, after making himself comfortable as well, Mai shows up in her cute-looking house dress, grabs him by the shirt, and tells the hero to start. What do they start doing? Nothing special, just a spell that turns the entire screen blank. However, the curse is too deep, and it's impossible to undo all at once. The strain on their bodies is too much. Getting dressed back in their school uniforms, the hero and the witch are having some tea while agreeing to hold the exorcism ritual once a week at this place. As the two of them keep chatting, Godo mentions her parents must really love her since they went this far to get her this place. But Mai shows a blank expression. She mentions because she is their child, she is important, and they care for her. This is something she never knew what it was like. Believing this is an exaggeration, Godo suggests there is no way. But there is no denial in her words. She tells the hero she cannot understand it because he has always been needed. Hearing those words and remembering something from the past, Godo has decided. Standing up, saying his name, Godo proclaims he is going to teach her what love is. These words coming out of his mouth make the witch wonder what he is speaking about. Because of the curse, their relationship will last a long time even in this world. He cannot let someone like her sulk beside him. She should get ready. Later, at night, when Godo arrives back at his place, sitting down on his bed, wondering what he should do now after saying all that, someone knocks at the door and enters his room. It is his childhood friend Hina, who wonders what is going on with the transfer student, even if he left early today. Changing the subject swiftly, Godo questions her why she is there, but the reason is the same as yesterday. Their bath is broken. But more importantly, she wants to know why he left early. She might get angry depending on the reason, with sweat moving down his face, and his eyes so tightened they could see his brain from inside. Godo mentioned Shina's dog was sick, and he was forced to leave early and take her to the station. After moments of silence, Hina tells Godo she believes him. But still, Mai's first day at school was pretty tough. If she makes some good friends soon, things should become easier. Standing up and moving towards Hina, Godo grabs her by the hands. He has realized something, and looking at her straight in the eyes while squeezing her palms, he asks her to become Mai's friend. At first, she is blushing having this happen, but quickly moves away, questioning what is with him all of a sudden. Therefore, Godo mentions Mai seems to be bad at making friends, and since Hina is bright and kind, he thought she would be a perfect friend for her. As he tells Hina this, making it a request from her childhood friend, the girl accepts with one condition. Next week, she wants him to take her to the amusement park. Unaware of her real feelings, Godo happily agrees and wishes her goodbye as she leaves. The following day at school, the three are chatting inside the class, with Hina questioning Mai about the dog. Since the two are good at making up stories, the witch goes with the flow, saying her pet is doing better. Followed by that, Hina suggests they all should have lunch together since it is more fun to eat lunch with a group. Can somebody confirm that? The only group I'm having lunch with are my 3 best non-existent friends that show up in my dreams.